Welcome back to Boston has entered the chat. If you watch the last segment, I teased this Rafi segment like a scene from Maury, and we've been talking about Maury and Jerry Springer and all the trash TV we watched growing up during the break, and it's no wonder we ended up the way we did, George. It makes a lot of sense now.
Boston, you are the father. I liked it. I appreciate that.
Listen, I work hard on these teasers. So, Rafi, you know, I remember coming on here and going off. Not because he got traded. I know a lot of people hated the return the Red Sox got back. But you and I did a good job of bringing some brevity to the situation of, look, yes, the return wasn't what we wanted per se.
Yeah.
We all thought we could have got more. But the big elephant in the room was getting rid of the contract, getting the Giants to take all the money. That was the win for the Sox, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then getting the headache that is Rafael Devers out of the clubhouse. We did a good job with that. What really chapped my arse and ticked me off was Rafi's introductory press conference.
Yeah.
When he had been there 5 minutes.
What is it? These are the guys in charge. I'll play wherever they want me to play.
I'm so happy to be here. Whatever you need. What? Where's that energy here? Well, now, funny what happens with time. It reveals everything, doesn't it? So Will Clark, Giants legend, first baseman, has been trying to work with Rafi, but he's been getting curved. Oh, another baseball legend getting curved by Rafi. Take a listen to this.
And we weren't gonna go through anything physical. We're just gonna walk through and say, hey, look, if throw's coming from over there, stand this way. If throw's coming from over there, stand that way. It wasn't gonna be this big thing, right? And Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he did not come out early at all, period. Not at all.
Standing up Will Clark. But here's my thing. Also, Will Clark did mention that the Giants manager, Bob Melvin, and the third base coach, Matt Williams, spoke to Will Clark like, hey, get some work in with Rafi at first.
They asked
help coach him up. Yeah. So it was invited, and that's something that was pushed by, again, the manager of the team, Bob Melvin. So Rafael Devers doesn't take the field early, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, but that was a weekend of the Red Sox in town. So Will Clark later in that interview said, but I get it. Red Sox are in town. He doesn't want to deal with all the BS, all the attention, all the media, especially doing it right in front of his former team's dugout after everything that happened in Boston.
I get that.
That's Will Clark understanding the whole situation. Two things here, though. If you're Will Clark, he doesn't come out early on Friday. You go to Bob Melvin, literally, as he's walking off
Where's
field,
your boy?
Bob, where's Rafi?
Yeah.
Then you let it happen Saturday and Sunday? Okay, Will, you got to ask. You are a San Francisco Giants legend. Multiple times finishing top 5 in MVP voting, an absolute hoss at first base all those years. You were a staple.
That's why he didn't ask, George. That's ego.
Yes.
I'm Will Clark. I'm not going back to the skipper. I'm out here. Where are you?
But Bob, check your boy, and you never saw him. On the opposite end, too, though, that's also Bob Melvin having that understanding and going to Rafi, hey, if you don't want to do it, tell me. Go talk to Will Clark or let me talk to him himself.
Sure.
There's so many moving parts with this. I think this was way blown out of proportion because Will Clark himself, when you listen to the interview, goes, I get it why he didn't come out early. When you read it, it reads really bad. When you hear him explain it, it makes a lot more sense why Rafi didn't go out there. Will Clark, bro, I get your ego, man. You're a legend. You got to ask, Bob, where's your boy? Rafi, if you don't want to do it, you got to go to Bob Melvin or you got to go to Will Clark. Hey, man, I'll work with you at first, not this weekend, I understand it. This whole thing's blown out of proportion, though, but it is Rafael Devers. Again, what's a common denominator? Rafael Devers, not proper communication.
That's right.
What's going on here?
Yeah, it's messy. I don't think it's blown out of proportion. I think this is messy. I think this is how Rafi does business. And good for the Red Sox to wash their hands of that. It's the Giants' problem now.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the damn Giants, much like Boston, but better, are a really good team. They just won last night. Walk off inside the park, homer against the Phillies. That's a major NL tilt. Clash of the Titans. They win that game. They are rolling. This team could be in the World Series when the smoke clears, George.
Yeah.
And this guy still can't get his mind right. Future is bright here in Boston, but right now, so you go from a team where the future's bright and still can possibly make a playoff push. Certainly if you still had Devers bat, we would think that, right?
Yeah.
Then you go to a possible World Series team and you still don't know how to act. But wait, there's more. Will Clark went on. He had a warning for Rafi.
But Rafael Devers, the next time I'm in San Francisco, your will be on the field at first base. Just letting you know that. Just from the
but if he's not going to go out, he's going to tell you.
Hey, look, even if I got to go grab you by the back of the neck and drag your ass out there, you will be at first base.
Rafael Devers. I mean, George, what's their record since Rafi has got there?
10-11. They've won 4 in a row, but they're 10-11. Sub 500. So Rafi can't escape the sub 500 life, even being in San Fran. I would like that to add some context to it, too. Will Clark, again, legend of the game. Little taps.
Rafael Devers.
And then going with, I'm going to grab him by the back of his neck.
Yeah, good luck with that.
What screams more old school baseball, thinking you can say that or do that, or even just say that about someone? He wouldn't literally do that. I assume he wouldn't. Because if someone did that to me, if I'm Rafi and someone grabs me by the back of my neck, hitting their arm off, punching him in the face.
Absolutely.
So that's also part of it, too. It's the more I heard Will Clark talk, I'm like, this guy's a little tapped in all of this. Again, Rafi should work with him. He wants to help him. That's a franchise legend. And Bob Melvin himself, your manager, asked Will Clark to help Rafael Devers. This is also, again, dude, it's a different coast. It's a different team. It's literally a different league from the AL to the NL. It's the same story. Bob Melvin, you got to communicate to Rafi better. Rafi, you got to communicate to Will Clark better. Clark, you got to communicate with Bob Melvin, the manager, better. Because why are you going to have someone come out to San Fran and not assure that he's going to work with them? And there might have been something to this, too. I think of this whole thing. Bob Melvin knew who they were playing, knew when he asked Will Clark to come out. Was there a little gamesmanship trying to show up the Sox of,
no.
I want Will Clark? I think so.
You think so?
Yes, there's pettiness in this, too, because Bob Melvin gets it, and he would understand why Rafi wouldn't do that and still try to make it happen.
See, I don't think so. I agree with Will Clark as, would you call him, as tapped, as burnt
He's
out
tapped.
as he sounds.
That just screams,
Devers.
that screams like the extracurriculars of 80s baseball with a little bit of steroids.
Oh, yeah, he partied.
Little Texas in there. Rafael Devers, I'm going to grab you by the back of the neck.
I'm going to tell you something right now.
Come on, dude.
Hey,
relax.
Will Clark, I was a fan of yours as a kid. I'm still a fan. You're very entertaining from this clip I've seen. If you run up on Rafi, okay? You remember when Don Zimmer ran up on Pedro? That's what it's going to look like. Okay, stay in your lane, old man. Relax.
Yeah.
Relax. Don't run up on Rafi. But I don't think there's any, trying to show Rafi up here. I agree with Will Clark in that it wasn't appropriate to do it during the Red Sox series. Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. But I think after that, now where we're at present day, the fact that you still are leaving me on red and you're not working with me at first base and I'm a damn legend.
Yeah.
And you said out your mouth, Rafi, that you would do whatever the team wanted and you'd play wherever they wanted. It just shows you the character of him. I think, look, he's very talented, generational, in my opinion. That's a generational bat the Red Sox lost, in my humble opinion. However, he's a loser. He has a loser mentality. Now, the good thing for the Giants is this is a team, cohesive, okay? So you can sit in a corner and pout and I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, all you want. That's their problem now. They're still going to win. It's different than here. With the Sox, this is a young team. You're trying to establish a culture. You're trying to build a long-term big picture here. You can't have a guy like that around here, which is why he's not here, right? Mm-hmm. The Giants, I think, can weather that storm. I really do. They're a talented enough team. You just need his talent. You don't need his leadership or lack thereof.
Neither
did the Red Sox. I disagree. I think the Sox needed.
The Sox needed the talent. Excuse me. They needed the talent.
The Sox needed both.
They didn't need his leadership. They just needed him to be a good teammate. And I don't think this is him being a bad teammate with the Giants. Again, Will Clark understands why. And when I'm watching this all unfold too, that's where this is the Will Clark told his side of the story. We're trying to piece it together without the other side of the story from a Bob Melvin or from a Rafael Devers. And I bet later this day they will be asked and there'll be more, information given in the background of the whole situation.
Sure.
Right? But that's what this is once again. And it's Will Clark, watching him talk there. You said it. There's ego there. Do you think that's a guy that would go, check his watch, 5 minutes late? Hey, Bob, where's Rafi? Is he coming out? No, that looks like a guy that would just stand there. Wait, you just probably come back out Saturday. Try to make something of it.
Yes.
When it's all right, dude, go ask someone. You're definitely talking to people. Where's Rafi? Oh, he's not coming out. Cool. Then I would be pissed off at Bob Melvin. I flew all the way out to San Fran for nothing because you didn't confirm it. That's where, I defend Rafael Devers in this one, where I think it got blown out of proportion with the virality of it. Which, here's Rafi again. It's what he did with David Ortiz, right, in Boston. And I get it why it's a big deal. It sounds like he's doing it to Will Clark. Will Clark explains why it's not a big deal. And then this guy, again, with the grab him by the back of the neck and doing all that. It's relax, buddy. hey, he shouldn't have done that. You also should have asked, where is he? You have the poll. Go into the clubhouse and go ask, where's Rafi?
Sure.
And you know what? He doesn't want to go out on the field, and you said it wasn't going to be anything physical. It was going to be directional, mental, stand here. Go into the cage where he was hitting before the game. Be like, hey, you got 5 minutes? Imagine this is first base. This is what you do. This is what you do. I'm a Rafi defender in this one.
I know you're defending him on this.
You may not like it. I'm a Rafi defender.
No, it's fine. I think he's a loser. Mentally,
he won a World Series.
I think he's a loser.
He won a World Series, and he didn't have to be the leader on that
talent,
team.
George.
And he is clutch.
We're having
Go
two
back
different
real quick.
conversations.
2021,
I'm not questioning
it came down
his
to the
talent.
final game of the season, and he's hitting pivotal home runs
That's
for the
talent.
Sox to punch in their spots in the playoffs. He steps up in the big moments.
That's talent, bro.
And he locks in when he has to.
That's not. No, he doesn't.
Yes.
That's my argument. I think
In the box, he does.
Talent-wise, I can't question it. I just said the guy's generational. I think he's a loser mentality because of things like this. For example, here's the elephant in the room. Let's switch the conversation here for a second.
Yeah.
Same thing happened here. A miscommunication here, a miscommunication there. Rafi takes a stance, then it becomes bigger than it should have ever been. We agree on that?
Yeah.
Well, now, what do you think's happening out here? Now you have this Will Clark thing. He's getting all liquored up, running his mouth on this podcast, right?
Yeah.
You think Rafi's gonna like this? Hell no. So now Rafi gets in his feelings, which we've seen before. That's why I say this is loser mentality stuff.
Okay.
Now he's in his feelings. Now Rafi's ego. We're talking about Will Clark's ego. Damn that. He's old. Yesterday's paper. He doesn't play anymore. Who cares about his ego? It's about Rafi. So now Rafi's ego's hurt. He's watching this guy say this. Now he starts playing the same games he was doing here, and it becomes a bigger story there for them. Again, glad it ain't our problem anymore.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
And that's a fact of it. Like, that's where this is happening. And again, it's just like, how old's Will Clark? Wait, he was playing in the 90s?
Yeah.
So,
I was a kid.
Like, what is he, like 50, let's say?
I'll look it up. Go
right?
ahead.
If you were a kid, then he's 7. I'm joking.
Okay.
No, actually, that makes it, yeah. That makes
I'm looking it up. Just talk.
Like, Will Clark, how old is he? 50-something. Rafael Devers is 20-something.
61, bro.
Holy cow.
Holy smokes.
You're older than you
Hey,
think.
by the way, you said Texas. It's not. He's from Louisiana.
Same twang. A little deeper. Rafi's in his, like, upper 20s. Bob Melvin's in his 50s.
Yeah.
Will Clark's in his 60s.
Right.
Can they communicate?
Right.
Can they be adults?
Grown men.
All three of them. Act like adults. You don't have to act like grown men. Act like an adult. Why do you guys have to get your hand held to go talk to Rafi? Why does Rafi have to get his hand held to go talk to Will Clark? Why does Bob Melvin let all of this become this mess?
Last word on this. How's this play out? I'm taking from you that it's much to do about nothing. I actually think this is going to turn into a big thing.
I don't think it's going to turn into anything big at all. I really don't. Now, if this continues to be something, I do like your point, though, that, like, it's all about how does Rafi respond.
That's what I'm saying.
Does he get in his feelings? Does he get hurt? Or then does he shut everyone out like he did in Boston? You know what? I'm not going to do walk-off interviews. I'm not going to talk with anybody. If that becomes it, then it's a big deal. Rafi simply, though, can just get up there with his translator and go, hey, Will Clark wanted to help me. I appreciate it. I should have handled it better. But again, we've seen that dance.
He doesn't do that.
Yep.
He's a loser, bro.
Can you be adults? Can you be professionals? Will Clark's not being it right now, if you ask me.
I don't know if he's ever
Rafi's not
been
doing it.
He was another Rafi. Probably super talented, but I don't know. Listen, I was too young to know the behind the scenes, but I don't feel like Will Clark, from watching this, was the most team-friendly dude you've ever seen either.